Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I would like to first introduce myself. My name is Sylphy, and I'm a registered migration agent at Aussizz Group, Paramata. Today's live session is all about parent visa. This visa is very close to my heart. I'm always overwhelmed when clients come to me asking for the permanent options to call their parents to live with them in Australia. In this session, we will study about the different ways you could bring your parents to Australia and make some precious moments with them. You might find that the short visits and temporary visas don't suit you or your parents' needs or circumstances. If that's the case, it may be worth considering more permanent pathway for them. There are several visas that will allow you to bring your parents to Australia permanently, which includes Contributory Parent Visa, which is Subclass 143, Contributory Aged Parent Visa, Subclass 864, Parent Visa, which is a normal parent visa, Subclass 103, and Aged Parent Visa, Subclass 804. Now, first we will talk about the eligibility criteria. Okay, so the key criteria for all parent visa is balance of family test. You must pass balance of family test, and the criteria are at least half of your children and stepchildren are either Australian citizen, permanent resident, or eligible New Zealand citizen, usually residing in Australia. Or there are more eligible children than children living in any other single country. So we'll just go through a few examples for that. So for example, you have 3 children, 2 Australian citizens residing in Australia and 1 living overseas. You do pass balance of family test. But for example, you have 3 children, 1 living in Australia as an Australian citizen, 1 living in maybe India and other living in USA, then you do not pass balance of family test. But for example, again, I can give you one more example, like you have 4 children, 2 Australian citizen and 2 living in any other country, then yes, you do pass balance of family test. Now, the other criteria you can look for is child should be residing in Australia for at least 2 years before the parent visa application is lodged. And the third criteria is your parents should meet health and character requirements. Now, there are 2 pathways for permanent residency for parents, non-contributory and contributory. The non-contributory visa has much longer processing time, although attracts a lower government application charge. On the other hand, if you go for the contributory parent visa, it can be processed a lot sooner, but the application charge is far greater. First, we will discuss about contributory parent visa and then non-contributory parent visa, followed by temporary sponsored parent visa subclass 870, where you do not have to pass balance of family test. Now, there are 2 types of contributory parent visa. Contributory parent visa subclass 143 and 173, and aged contributory parent visa subclass 884, 864. In this, the applicant either apply for the temporary and then permanent visa, or directly they can apply for the permanent visa. If the applicant has chosen to apply for temporary contributory parent visa, which is 173 or 884 first, and then it can be processed in 2 stages. Under this visa, applicants initially apply for the temporary parent visa, which is valid for the period of 2 years, and it cannot be extended or renewed. So in this 2 years period of time, you have to apply for the permanent visa. So anytime during this 2-year validity period of the visa, the temporary visa holder can apply for the corresponding permanent visa. Now, in both the cases, either you apply for stage 1 or stage 2, the processing time is 6 years, 6+ years, you can say. The benefit of selecting 2-stage process is that you can pay visa application charge in a staggered form. So initially, at the time of lodging the application, you pay normal visa application charge, which is around 4,225 for the primary applicant and around 1,700 for the secondary applicant. And after 5 to 6 years, when the case officer is assigned in your case, you need to first pass health and character requirements, and then you pay the first, the half of the amount, which is 29,130 for each applicant. And later, within 2 years, you pay another balance of fees, which is 19,420. But here you end up paying more amount to the department if you choose the 2-stage process. So it has its own pros and cons. However, if you choose to apply directly on permanent basis, which is 143 or 864, the second visa application charge will be 43,600 per applicant. Now, there is a difference between the contributory parent visa and aged contributory parent visa, which we'll discuss. So first difference is contributory parent visa, which is subclass 143. It can be lodged onshore or offshore. So if you're lodging the application onshore, then you should be holding a visitor visa grant letter, and there has to be no 8503 condition on it. Okay, so if there is a condition, you won't be able to apply onshore application. But if it is not, then yes, you are eligible to apply for contributory parent visa 143. However, in aged contributory parent visa, the application can be lodged only onshore, as long as you hold substantive visa and there is no 8503 condition. Now, second difference is that in contributory parent visa 143, there is no age limit. However, in aged contributory parent visa, the primary applicant should meet age criteria, which is 66 years and 6 months. Now, the third difference is when you apply for onshore contributory parent visa, which is 143, there is no bridging visa issued. Okay. However, when you apply for age contributory parent visa, bridging visa is granted until the decision is made. Now, another type of visa is non-contributory parent visa. In this, there are 2 categories. First is parent visa, which is a normal parent visa 103, and another one is aged parent visa 804. Again, eligibility criteria will remain the same. Only the difference between contributory and non-contributory is that there is a nominal fees in the non-contributory visa compared to contributory, which you pay at the time of lodging the visa application. And the processing time in non-contributory parent visa is 30+ years. In aged parent visa, again, you have to meet age criteria of 66.5 years. And the additional benefit is that if you have applied for 804 visa, you can be on bridging visa A until the decision is made on your visa application. Now, in all the cases, in all the visas, Medicare is not covered. In that case, parents can take a private health insurance or renew the travel health insurance from their home country. Now, at the time of the visa grant, there is another requirement that you need to fulfill, which is assurance of support. So they have assessed the application and they have asked for the character and health requirements. It's been finished, and you paid the second visa application charge, which is 43,600. Then during that time, they will ask for the assurance of support. Now, applicants for the permanent parent category visa requires to pay assurance of support. If you have applied for the first stage, which is 173,884, you do not have to pay assurance of support during that time. But when you apply for the permanent parent visa, during that time, assurance of support is necessary, which you need to pay in to the Centrelink, and that can be refunded after the particular period. So it can be like around 10 years period. The support period and the amount differ from each visa type. Okay, so during the assurance of support period, if you experience any financial hardships, then the money used to provide you with the income will come from the assurance of support bond. So, for example, you need the money during that time, and you have just you have been paid from that assurance of support. Then when they will refund you the amount during that time, they will deduct that amount from your total assurance of support. So this was all about parent visa. Okay, now there is another visa where you do not pass. If you do not pass balance of family test, then and if you want to call your parents for a longer period, then the best option would be to apply for temporary sponsored parents of class 870. So if your parents do not pass balance of family test and you are an Australian citizen and PR holder, just like me, so unfortunately, I'm living here since last 12 years, and on the permanent residency, I'm Australian citizen, and I do not pass balance of family test. So for these, like for us, I think the temporary sponsored parent subclass will be the best option if you hold a citizen, if you are Australian citizen and PR holder and looking for your parents to stay in Australia temporarily for a long period of time. Now, this visa allows parents of an approved sponsor to enter and stay in Australia for either 3 years or 5 years, and they can continuously stay without departing. You can only apply for this visa to stay in Australia for the maximum period of 10 years. After that, you are not eligible to apply for 870 visa. Once the sponsorship is approved, you can lodge the visa application within 6 months of that approval if lodged onshore, or 60 days if you have permission to lodge onshore. You cannot work while you are on this visa, and you should maintain your private health insurance. Now, there are 2 steps involved with this visa. The first step is to become an approved sponsor, and the second step is the visa application. The sponsorship must be approved before your parents can apply for the visa. To be eligible sponsor, a person must be child of the applicant, and there are 3 things that you have to fulfill. First is the sponsored child must be an Australian citizen, permanent resident, or eligible New Zealand citizen who has been residing in Australia. Second is you should meet again medical and character, health and character requirements. And the third is that you should be having a taxable income of at least 83,454.80 in the most recent financial year. So for the approved sponsor, there has to be this income in the recent financial year. It can be combined with your partner or another eligible child of the applicant. Now we can expect like 3 to 4 months processing time in total, which includes around 2 months to get the sponsorship approved and approx 1.5 to 2 months to get the visa approved. Usually the visa application charges, so for when you apply for the sponsorship, the visa application charge is around 500 something. And when you apply for the visa application, during that time, initially you have to pay 1,000 as a visa application charge. And once the parents has finished their medicals and character requirements, so they have submitted their PCC, police clearance certificate, then they ask for the second visa application charge, which is if it's 3 years visa, then around 4,000, and if it's 5 years visa, then around 9,000, which you have to pay during that time, along with your health insurance. So yeah, this was all about the parent visa, and the parent visa where you pass balance of family test, and if you do not pass balance of family test. So I'm open for the questions now. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to help you. So I'll just go to Aussizz Group. Okay, I'm having trouble in getting the questions. Okay. So guys, I'm having trouble in getting the questions. I'm unable to see the questions. Okay, so there is one question. 3-child New Zealand resident is fine. So if you are New Zealand citizen, then you should be eligible New Zealand citizen in Australia. So eligible New Zealand in Australia means that you should be having a New Zealand passport, and you should be arrived in Australia on or before 26th of February 2001 on special category. So special category visa. So if that's the case, then yes, you are eligible for the sponsorship. But yes, all the three children should be residing in Australia and should hold eligible New Zealand citizen passport. Now there is one more question. 3 child, 1 Australian citizen, 1 New Zealand resident, and 1 in India. Does that pass the test? So again, the same thing, that one is Australian citizen, another one is a New Zealand resident, but they, if he's residing in New Zealand, then no, they do not pass balance of family test. But if they they have a New Zealand passport and they are residing in Australia, and they are the eligible New Zealand citizen, that means that they have arrived in Australia on or before 26th of February 2001 on special category visa, then yes, you do pass balance of family test. So again, Jocelyn called, she asked that do they have to clear balance of family test? Yes, they do have. This criteria is the most important criteria if you want to apply for parent visa, contributory or non-contributory parent visa. However, if you are planning to apply for 870 visa, then this is not compulsory. So you do not have to pass balance of family test. Only one child is Australian citizen or PR holder, then you are eligible to apply for 870 visa. Also, if the parents are above 65, do they get Medicare while waiting for the visa to come through? So on the aged contributory parent visa, again, the criteria is you should be having the age of 66 years and 6 months. So if your parents, at least one parent who is a primary applicant, it crosses that age limit, then you can apply for the age contributory parent visa. But yes, while you are on bridging visa A, you are not eligible to apply for the Medicare. So they have to just go on the health insurance, private health insurance, if they want to. Now, can me and my husband sponsor his parents as well as my parents? We both earn more than 83K each year for each parent contributory visa. So for each contributory parent visa, there is no income required. So the income criteria is only for the 870 visa. So if you have if you do not work and you are living in Australia, and if you pass balance of family test, still you can apply for the parent visa. But if you are planning for 870 visa, then you have to meet the income criteria. Can me and my husband sponsor his parents as well as my parents? So in 870 visa, if you are a citizen or your husband is a citizen and you want to sponsor both of your parents, you can do that. But again, the same criteria that you have to pass the income criteria, but not for the age parent visas, because each applicant, each child has to, like their own parents they have to pass balance of family test. So for example, if if I want to call my parents, then I have to pass balance of family test for my parents. So, hi, my parents are 62 and I'm a permanent resident. Am I eligible for balance test? Which visa I can go for? Will they get Medicare? So again, the same thing, that you should pass balance of family test. So if you are the only child and your parents wants to come on the contributory or non-contributory parent visa, then yes, you are eligible to sponsor them. And and then they can apply and they can come on that visa. But yes, if they are onshore, they do not. You can't get Medicare on that basis. So once they have granted that visa, then they will be eligible for the Medicare card. What if the sponsor does not have birth certificate to prove the parent? Is OCI okay as parent's name confirmation? So if you do not have birth certificate, then there are different alternatives for that. For example, you can arrange a statutory declaration. You can show your relationship as you have written it, OCI. So there the parents' details are written, but we usually tell our clients to arrange a birth certificate. If not, then we have to see other options. But yes, it's not that if you don't have birth certificate, you can't apply for parent visa. Niyati Patel says, which forms are required for subclass 864? And what is the department fees for application? Does it 4,500 something? So here, see, now for the forms, usually you need application form for the parent visa. It's a postal application, so there is no online application available. So you have to post the application. So there are application forms like main application form, which is 47 PA form. You have to fill the personal particular forms, which is form 80, form 40 for the sponsorship. So these are the and many other forms which is required for the application. And the visa application charge initially you have to pay is around 4,225 for the primary applicant, and for the secondary applicant it's around 1,600 to 1,700. And once after 6 years, when the case officer is assigned in your case, and then you have to first clear medical and health examination, and once that is done, then you are eligible to pay the second visa application charge, which is 43,600. So like in few cases, we have also seen like clients come to us and they also ask the most important question, like they want their parents are on 870 visa. So can they apply contributory parent visa while they hold 870 visa? So the answer is no. So first of all, we usually suggest our client when they come during the time of initial consultation that first you have to apply for the contributory parent visa. And once that application is submitted and you receive the acknowledgement letter of that, then you can apply for 870 visa. But if your 870 visa is in process and if you want to apply for contributory parent visa, then you can't do that. So first apply for the contributory parent visa and then 870 visa. Okay, so pretty much I have cleared all the questions. If you have any questions related to the parent visa, you can email us. So my email ID is sylphy.dudhia@aussizzgroup.com. And one more announcement to make. We have also opened office in Bankstown. So if you have any, if you live over there and you want to approach Aussizz Group, then please you can visit our Bankstown office. And if you have any further questions, just drop me an email and I'll be happy to help you. So thank you so much for attending this live session, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.